All right, we're going to start very simply in Sphinx pose. So lay on the yoga mat on your belly. Take your elbows slightly in front of your shoulders, about shoulder distance apart. Have your legs comfortably apart. If your lower back is very sensitive, you can always bring your legs closer together. You can also even slide down further so that your ribs are holding you as well. So for this first posture, maybe close your eyes for a moment. Allow yourself to feel into your body. Notice maybe the temperature in the room, the sounds in the house. Feel your yoga mat below you. Notice you can even feel space above you. And we start with this softer, slower practice of yin. Coming into a posture like you have already to suit your body. And then seeing how softly we can stay there. So yin isn't a practice of force. It's more a practice of surrender. So you've found the position for your body and you've softened your position, allowing yourself just to keep enough muscle engaged to stay in the pose. And then the last part is just being willing to stay. And it's not to stay through sharp pain, but you can stay through being bored, you can stay through being annoyed, even uncomfortable. And because it's so available for us in this pose, open your eyes and we're going to do a couple face yoga poses before we move out of the pose. And the first one is, it's like your good morning yoga face yoga pose, where you just let your whole face express a wow, wow, wow. And if people are sleeping, you can make that quiet. But you can make it loud if they're not. And just, you can nearly even just practice delight. Wow, wow, beautiful. And then you can let your face relax. Notice that you naturally relax your face with a little bit of a smile. And we're gonna do another face yoga pose that helps tone your jawline and your neck. And so first we're going to take our we're going to take our chin to our right shoulder and then lift up your chin and then purse your lips like you're going to kiss the whole right-hand side of the world good morning. And you're going to listen while I say, when I look backwards, I am filled with gratitude. And then drop your chin down and slide your chin to the opposite shoulder, to your left shoulder. Lift your chin about 45 degrees. You should feel the stretch in your neck. Purse your beautiful lips, kissing good morning to that side. When I look forward, I am filled with vision. Allow your chin to relax back to center. Then take your chin straight up, looking up towards the ceiling, purse your lips one more time, like you're so happy to have a sky today. When I look upward, I am filled with strength. And then with your exhale, let your chin drop down and actually bow your head down. You don't have to purse your lips here. When I look within, I discover peace. And lift up your head. Take a full inhale, maybe slightly lifting up your chest, and with your exhale, settle down to the yoga mat, placing your forehead on your stacked forearms. You can wiggle your butt side to side to release the tension in your lower back. You can even lift up your feet and shake your legs side to side. It kind of happens naturally. See your body, you know what to do. And then allow your body to settle down. Settle down. Just come into stillness for another moment. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Push your hips back to your heels. Cross your ankles, roll over your crossed ankles, stretch your legs out in front of you, slide forward. And then, with a little hula dance, or maybe you're feeling a little bit more ska, you can relax your upper body down to the ground, stretch your legs out. And you're going to take your right heel to the right corner of your yoga mat, and you're going to stack your left ankle over your right ankle. If that's too much, you can always have your left leg right next to your right leg, and then stretch your arms up over your head and grab onto your left wrist and pull your left wrist to the right. So you won't be surprised to hear this is called banana asana. You can see how Pear's doing it. So he's really stretching his arms over his head, and a banana has one curve. So your hips are that curve. So your upper body is going to the same direction as your feet. So your upper body going to the right if your feet are going to the right. Stretch your arms long if it works for you. If it doesn't, you can always hold your right arm against your chest, Helena. That might also be more comfortable. And you still can get the stretch with your left arm, lifting over your head. So it looks from here, maybe you want to slide your hips more to the left as your feet and your hands go to the right. But take a couple breaths to feel that you're in the right shape for your body. In our yin practice, especially, but in our entire practice, we always have. So Helena, it's like this, like imagine the floor is behind me and the position is where your feet are to the right and your hands are to the right. So even with it would be like this for you. Yeah. So just imagine, yeah, exactly. Perfect. So we're trying to be like a banana. Awesome. So not just being crazy like a banana, but we honor the limits of our body, the uniqueness of our body, and our biography. So in the morning, for instance, if your biography is that you were sleeping last night, you've been lying still, your body tends to be a little bit more stiff, a little bit more tight, not as flexible as it will be in the afternoon. But in the yin poses, in all the poses, we have kind of this archetype of the posture. And then we notice how we uniquely express that archetype in our bodies today. Once we're in the pose, our job is to try to do as little as possible in the yin poses on the surface. But you'll notice as your surface stills, you feel more of the activity below your muscles, below the surface. And you can meet that activity with an inner response. So you might find, oh, you're uncomfortable. And then you can say, okay, I'm uncomfortable, but let me instead get curious. Am I doing the posture? Is it the right pose? Yes. Is it uncomfortable because I'm actually tight? Okay, maybe. What happens if I make friends with that awkward feeling? These are the very soft and subtle and personal parts of your practice. How do we meet what's happening from our very core, from our very inside? Take another full inhale. And with your exhale, see if you can straighten out your banana. And we're going to do the other side. So you're going to take your left heel to the left corner of your yoga mat. Stack your right ankle on top of your left ankle. And then reach your arms up over your head. And this time you're going to pull your right arm to the left. And if that's not happening for you, just have the position of your ribs. You can relax your arm however is comfortable for you and make up your variation. With all of these postures, we have an opportunity to really see how it makes sense for us. We're not trying to squish ourselves into boxes we don't fit into. That's a very, could we say, yang way to do things? No, but that's old. That's not where we're at. We're practicing really allowing ourselves to be ourselves no matter where we are, no matter what the environment. Notice how your breaths help settle you in the pose. We stay in the postures longer, not only because we're working on being softer in the body or unhurried, but specifically because the material of our ligaments, where this yin yoga practice is directed, is a different substance than our muscles. Muscles are, they're full of blood and juicy and warm, and they work better the hotter they get. Our ligaments, on the other hand, have the substance of old chewing gum. So sexy. And it's that, if you just tug it and pretend like it's a muscle and try to really activate it and get it warm and fast and dynamic, that's when this is how athletes injure themselves. In the ligaments, a muscle injury doesn't retire an athlete. And so with this substance, you want to be persistent and pull slowly. You might even feel in your body, they're often in the yin pose is a moment where your body kind of goes, oh, okay, I believe you now that you really want to be here. With your next inhale, start to wiggle back to center. Wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe. A lot of times after a yin pose, we can feel fragile and vulnerable. And we find that a little bit of movement after the pose kind of allows us to rein that back in. Now hug your knees to your chest. And you're going to rock and roll on your spine. And if you want to get there this way, you can. So you're going to rock and roll. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, just to a seated position. And we're going for a little caterpillar. So we did a back bend with the Sphinx. We did a side bend with our banana. And now we're doing a soft forward bend. Now you might, if you have an extra pillow lying about, this might be a nice place to add a pillow here, or maybe that pillow won't make a difference. I'll show you. And you can wiggle your legs relaxed. You can push the fleshy part of your butt underneath you more. You can sit on a pillow if you want, if you need a little extra length in your hamstrings, especially. So we'll see where you want it in the end. And then inhale, lift up your chest, start to walk your fingers forward like they're lovely little spiders, flesh-colored spiders, scary. Okay, inhale, lift your chest and wiggle your butt back again. And then see if you can walk your fingers even more. Now, for some of us, it won't be possible to walk your fingers more. Once your fingers don't walk any further, then you soften into the pose. So for some of us, this pillow can catch us. For others, we might want to put the pillow underneath our hips to elevate our hips so our pelvis can tilt forward. Just see what makes sense for you. This is your body, your practice. So soften here. Letting your elbows be heavy, letting your tongue be fat, letting your cheeks be relaxed, your face is relaxed. You can notice as you breathe that sometimes some places need more attention to relax than to engage. It's a little bit like the Apache prayer that I shared with our face yoga. When I look backwards, I am filled with gratitude. When I look forwards, I am filled with vision. When I look upwards, I am filled with strength. And when I look within, I discover peace. I don't know about you, but for me, those aren't always effortless. I have to bring my attention, my will, and then really can I notice that I'm filled with gratitude when I look back. Sometimes I can look back and without, my intention, I can regret things or wish I'd done things differently, be sour about some things or bitter about other things. But when I'm in myself and when I pay attention, when I gift myself that capacity, then I will notice that I can be so grateful for all of these amazing things that happened that brought me right here. Caterpillar pose is a quite intense pose, so we tend to stay here more like 3 minutes than 5 minutes. Take another full inhale. Exhale, soften into it just a little bit more. And then with your next inhale, lift up your chest. You're going to bring the bottoms of your feet together. You want your heels about 2 hands length away from your groin. And then you're going to come back onto your elbows. So you're popping your chest up a little bit. This is like a hip opener and a heart opener. or back bend, little back bend. If it's okay, if it's okay for your neck, you can drop your head back. If it's not okay for your neck, you can keep your chin towards your chest. And about halfway through the pose, we take our upper body to the ground. So if you need to take your upper body all the way down to the yoga mat before I tell you to, you're welcome to. So right now, this next line in the prayer of when I look forward, I am filled with vision is so, it's so poignant to keep visioning possibilities and positively, because we are very conditioned and supported to look out into the unknown and get scared and see all the things that could go wrong and all the things that could not work out. But when I bring my attention to that, when I bring this soft will, this will that is little, it's different than just, carrying a heavy load of wood one more time. When I bring this inner will, instead of filling the unknown and the future with all the things that could go wrong, all the things I fear, I can fill the future with what I want to put my, life substance towards. What do I want to build? What do I want to have happen? What opportunity do we want to create? We want to notice how our inner activity becomes transformative. Let your elbows slide out to the side. And when you come down to the ground, you're going to take a mudra. You're going to bring your thumbs and your index fingers together and spread out the other three fingers. And you're going to slide your fingers right to where your head and the ground meet. So it looks like you have a tiara over your head, or, antlers. If that's not available to you, you're always welcome to take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Also a really nice way to kind of check in and feel. When I look upward, I am filled with strength. It's such a gift to be living in the countryside, where during the winter and even still in the spring, you can go out and you see so many stars. And while one could be overwhelmed with how small and teeny we are, or that we don't even shine like a star yet, instead, this practice of looking up, looking upward in ourselves, looking upward in the sky, looking upward, even just like lifting your chin when you walk. Yeah. Not so much that your nose is in the air, but that your eyes are looking forward. But this upward sensibility can empower us. We are spiritual beings in a life experience. We are part of the whole, and that is empowering. Fortifying. And then hug your knees to your chest. And one more time, we get to rock and roll. So just rock side to side first a little bit, just massaging your lower back. And then start to roll backwards and forwards. And then see if maybe you have enough momentum to roll into plank and settle into child's pose. And that might not be there for you today. So however you want to come to child's pose is perfect. So your head on the ground, your knees wide, big toes touching. When I look within, I am filled with peace. I discover peace, sorry. I discover peace. That there's something about our human nature that isn't the ugly fight or the greedy selfishness, but there is something in every human being that actually is at peace, wants peace, is a creature of peace and love. So to discover that again and again, it takes this will on the inside of our very being. It isn't up to anybody else. When I look within, I discover peace. So let's take a moment to really dedicate our practice to peace in the world, to love in the world, to the birthright of human beings to be able to be here, sheltered, cared for, and loved. And then with your inhale, roll up. And we're going to come into sesa, like just Japanese style, seated position. And we're going to sound 3 ohms to warm us into our vinyasa part of our practice, our more yang part of our practice. So with your hands together, your thumbs pressing against your chest, let your elbows be heavy. Feel the lift through the crown of your head as if your very scalp and skull is attracted to the stars. Empty your breath. Take a deep inhale. Ah. Ah. And then relax your hands down, bring your hands forward, and we're going to start in tabletop. So the second part of our practice is we're working on getting warm and fiery and igniting our yang as a protector and peace bringer. So spread out your fingers. You can have your feet stretched long or your toes tucked under, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And then with your inhale, lift your head, your heart, and your hips. Coming into cow. And with your exhale, push the ground away and pull your belly up, arching your back like a Halloween cat. Inhale, sweep into cow. You never think cows are graceful till you see them in the spring. And with your exhale, push the ground away, pull your belly up, arch your back, feel the extension in your back body. And then inhale, one last cow. You can imagine horns reaching out to the stars. And then with your exhale, find a neutral spine. So you're engaging your belly. You're active here, but not like sucking in your belly. You're just lightly engaging it. And you're going to stretch your right leg back and pulse a couple times. Notice that you feel the tightness in your right calf. Help that pulsing kind of soften the tightness. And then we're going to spin our right heel down to the ground and lift our right arm up, coming in supported side plank. If it's there for you, you can even float your right leg and then stretch your right arm over your ear. Take a full inhale. Exhale, staying strong. Now either stay where you are or reach back and hold on to your right ankle with your right hand and allow your hips to push gently forward as your gaze lifts up. Then without falling apart, release your leg, return the same way you got there. And everyone meet back up in tabletop. And now you're going to wiggle your table. So it's like a sassy table. If you know the image of Dolly and Gala, where Gala's the desk, that's what I imagine. Anyways, push back with your left heel. It's a specific image. I'll have to send it out in an email. Pulse a couple times with your left heel. Feel the release. So the pulsing actually helps your muscle. So it's different than your ligament. Dynamic movements warm up our muscles. Breath helps warm them from the inside. And then place your heel, just roll your heel down to the center line and stretch your left arm up to the sky. Either stay here or maybe see if you can lift up your left leg, keeping your left leg as an extension of your spine, and then match your leg with your arm, reaching your left arm forward, extending that line of your spine from your fingers to your toes. Take another full inhale. Exhale. Now, if you feel like going further, you can bend your left knee, catch onto your left hip, let your left hip push slightly forward. Maybe bring your gaze up to the sky. And then with a little bit of control, you're going to release and return the same way you got there. Stretch your arm long and then place your foot down and come back onto your knees, your hands, and wiggle your tabletop. Now tuck your toes under. Pull your lower belly towards your spine and feel your hips pulling up and back, keeping your knees bent for as long as possible. And once you can't pull your hips any further back, then start to straighten your legs to your degree. Let your head hang and now bend and straighten one leg at a time. So it's a little bit like wiggling your dog or jogging your downward facing dog. And with your next inhale, straighten your left leg, or you can have a small bend in your knee if your hamstrings are tight, and stretch your right leg up to the sky. Bend your knee and let your hip start to spin open. Beautiful. If you want, you can practice getting light in your left fingertips. If you're feeling sassy, you can even float your left hand. And then with your exhale, you're going to step your right foot all the way forward to your right hand, putting your left hand back on the ground. And then just stretch. We're going to do twisted lizard here. So you're going to reach your right arm and reach it up. Your left arm is on the ground. Your right foot is on the ground. Even your right knee is on the ground if you want, or you can extend your right foot is on the ground. Your right knee is nowhere near the ground. Your left knee, however, could be on the ground or could be extended. Fantastic. And then you're going to bring your right hand back down, come back to your knees or straight to downward facing dog. And then we do the other side. So inhale, stretch your left leg long, bend your knee, and see that you're spinning your hip open, activating your left leg. Notice you can square your shoulders, and it helps to actually get light in your right hand. Ooh, I caught a sunbeam. I got light in my hand. Maybe you want to float your hand. Maybe you're going to challenge, maybe not. And then bring your right hand down, step your left foot all the way forward to your left hand, and then bring your right knee onto the ground if you want, and stretch your left arm straight up. Take a full inhale, feel your heart opening. And then with your exhale, you're going to place your left hand down and you're going to stretch your left leg back to plank. Inch forward like you're a hungry crocodile, and then slowly lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Turn your toes over, push all of your toenails into the ground, and strong legs lift up into low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale here in your downward facing dog. So you can always watch pair as the model. I sometimes stop because I'm teaching, but pair should not stop. Allow your breath to help you. The variations for your arms, if your shoulder's bugging you, you might even drop your elbows down to the ground. Wherever you are, take a nice full inhale, empty your breath all the way, and then walk your feet up in between walk your feet in between your hands. Then with your knees slightly bent, inhale, halfway lift. And if you fly your arms, you start to notice maybe you can straighten your legs all the way, pull your lower belly to your spine, chin away from your chest. And with your next exhale, hug the back of your knees, let your face come towards your shins. And then release and roll up, stretch up to the sky, reach up tall. And with your exhale, Samastitihi. Relax your hands. Inhale, stretch your arms up, maybe even the corners of your mouth. Exhale, bow down, softening your knees as you bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, keeping a straight spine, knees can be bent, and then step back to plank or jump to chaturanga, and everybody lower halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra, kneecaps off the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. With your exhale, bend your knee, let your hips spin open. Take a full inhale here. And then with your exhale, step your right foot all the way forward to your right thumb. Rise up, crescent lunge. So you want to feel that you have power in your legs, pull your lower belly in, lift your gaze upward. Allow yourself to explore the edges. So maybe bending your right knee more, pushing back with your left foot more. Take another full inhale. And with your exhale, follow your breath all the way down to chaturanga or the ground. And then inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg to the sky. Bend your knee, let your hips spin open. Take a full breath here, and then step your foot all the way forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. So you're bending your left knee, you're pushing your right heel into thin air strongly. Let your ribs lift away from your hips. Let your gaze start to lift. Take another full inhale, and then ride your breath. Exhale, chaturanga or the ground. Sometimes it's either going to downward facing dog straight away. Inhale up, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees a little bit. This helps ease the weight in your arms, actually. Brings more weight into your legs. Now, if you need a little extra warmth, you can start to shake your legs and shake your, like it's like you're just vibrating your legs, bouncing your heels up and down, letting it wiggle the soft spots in your legs and your butt, maybe your belly and your boobs. You get it all wiggling. We're trying to get our circulation going, our systems going. And sometimes we even want to push to a place where we become breathless so that we can practice being here even when it's hard. Take another full inhale, come to a little bit of stillness. Empty your breath all the way and hop your feet up to your hands. Inhale, fly your arms, halfway lift. Exhale, hug your knees. Let your head drop and sink. Then this time we're going to bend our knees and sweep our arms up and come into Utkatasana. So imagine you're sitting on a chair. It's a little bit lower than a stool. And then rock your weight into your heels so you can even lift up your toes. Allow your heart to lift. If you need to do it one arm, that's totally fine. Allow your chest to lift, your gaze. And if you're feeling radical, take the corners of your mouth and lift those up. Take another full inhale. And with your exhale, open arm twist to your right. Take a full inhale here. Exhale, twist a little bit more. Inhale, Utkatasana, up to center. With your exhale, open arm twist to your left. Inhale here, let your heart, chest expand. Exhale, twist more. And then inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, bending your knees as much as you need. Now your vinyasa, either jump to chaturanga or step to plank, lower all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend your right knee. Let your hips spin open. Take a full breath here. And then with your exhale, you're going to step your right foot to your right thumb. Left heel's lifted, rise up, crescent lunge. And with your next exhale, open arm twist to your right. Inhale, lift up your left arm and reach back with your right hand to your right thigh. And then exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, Trikonasana. So you're going to straighten your right leg and you're going to hinge from your hips, keeping your arms reaching apart, both legs fully extended. Feel the tuck of your right buttocks reaching to your left heel. Now either stay here, or if you want to float into half moon, you can. You shift your weight forward into your front foot, stretch your arms apart, bring your gaze to the ceiling, staying either here or bending your left leg and grabbing onto your left ankle. Now, does it feel a little familiar? Allow it to help, work with it. Fake it till you make it, you could say. This is what we call a practice. And then extend your leg, extend your arm, bring your left hand down, square your left hip, yogi choice, one leg or two, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knee, let your hips spin open. Take a full breath here. And then step your left foot to your left thumb. And with your inhale, rise up. Crescent lunge. Exhale, open arm twist to your other left. Reach through your fingertips. Now inhale, you're going to stretch your right arm up and grab your right thigh with your left hand, maybe a squeeze of love. And then with your exhale, open up warrior two. It's like a little bit like you're dancing. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then with your exhale, you're going to extend your left leg, pull your left hip underneath you, reach forward with your left arm and slide into Trikonasana, triangle pose. And we pause here a little bit. We breathe here. So see what you can do from the inside to make it feel better overall. So you're tucking your left buttocks towards your right heel. And this allows you then to bring your shoulders back, reaching your arms apart. Then you pull your chin to your chest and gaze turns to the ceiling. Now either stay here or shift forward and slide into half moon. So your hips are still the same alignment as Trikonasana. Your top leg is flexed. You're stretching your arms apart. Then bring your chin to your chest and look upwards. If you want, you can bend your left knee, hold onto your left ankle. Sorry, right. You guys are perfect. Thank goodness you can ignore me when you need to. Allow yourself to be challenged. This is part of our practice. Now gracefully see if you can release your trapped right leg, re-reach your right arm up, and then with your exhale, you're going to bring your right hand down. Now, yogi's choice, halfway lift and one leg or two. If you're doing a one-legged jump, you throw your right leg into the sky and jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then either walk or jump your feet through your hands and come onto your butt. Yeah. So first, it's about vision, right? I want to envision jumping my legs through my hands. Yeah. One day. Now, bend your knees. It's time for a little dance intermission. Ooh, 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 ooh. And we have a fabulous back bend and a twist before our Shavasana. So feet on the ground. You want to feel that your feet are hip distance apart. And your hips are skinnier than you think. So it's more your hip sockets. And then slide your heels so they're close enough that you can touch the back of your heels with your middle fingers. Then plant your feet in the ground and roll your hips up to the sky. You can either stay here, or if you feel warm enough, or you have one of those bendy wild bodies, you can go straight into full wheel. Allow your breath to help you. Imagine you're squeezing a block in between your knees. Well done, pair. Feel how that lights it up. So the work here for any back bend is really how much can I strengthen my legs so I experience the freedom in my spine. You know, maybe you've been sick, maybe you've been away from your yoga mat, and you're really practicing on coming back into your practice. It's very good to remember where you are now, not tripping about where you were before. It took us a lifetime to get here. So don't be in a rush to change everything. Growth happens most sustainably in a slower manner. With sudden bursts of evolution. And then slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Slide your feet out as wide as the yoga mat and let your knees knock together. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Maybe your heartbeat is going a little faster, or maybe your belly is already rumbling for breakfast. Just notice where you are, how you are. And then you're going to take your right knee over your left knee. Lift up your knees so that your feet are floating, and you pull your knees over your hips. And then you're going to let your knees drop to your left. If you're tight in your hips, you can slide your butt to the right first. Take another full inhale, and with your exhale, just sigh it out. And then bring your knees back to center. Unwind them just to wind them again. Bring your left knee over your right knee. Lift up your feet and pull your knees over your hips. And then drop your knees to your right. Your gaze will go either straight up to the ceiling or even to your left. Take a full inhale, and with your exhale, just sigh it out. Feel your breathing return to normal, to a baseline. And with your next inhale, unwind and come back to center, stretching your legs long in Shavasana. I did it again. Too punctual. I just have to change the clock. Allow yourself to come into Shavasana, palms open to receive next to your body or with your hands on your belly. A little gentler practice today, I hope. Ease us into it. Feel how soft and held your body can be lying on the floor. With your next inhale, invite your breath to the edges of your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes, or just smile. With your next inhale, stretch your arms over your head, reach your feet away from your hands, your whole body stretching long. And then with your exhale, curl into a ball and roll onto your side if that's comfortable. And then let's meet up in a seated position. So maybe you come into full lotus or easy pose. Or whatever you want pose, seated. And then bring your hands to heart center. Feel your shoulders drop, the crown of your head reaching for the stars. With your eyes closed, just take a moment, remembering what we dedicated our class to. And let's sound one Om to close our practice. Empty your breath first. Let's take an inhale together. Ah. Bring your prayer hands to your third eye. Invite the divine light. And as we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. And so much love. Now, to get us present, make some noise. Excellent. Beautiful job. Well done. Thank you so much. And thank you so much.